to the only podcast you don't know how to describe to your friends. My name is Travis, and I'm here with a very special guest. John is back. John has returned. How you doing, John?
Hello. How's it going, man? I'm good.
It's going all right. Jen is away today, but she will be back. And I thought John would be a great person to join me and kind of answer the questions that y'all have been sending in. So welcome back. You were on the beginning of end of last year, beginning of this year podcast episode. That was cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
Lots of fun. Of course, people have been asking for you, so this will be good to have you back on and answer those. Now, of course, when I start reading these emails and stuff, some of them are going to say, Jen, you have to be Jen today. You're going to have to pretend to be Jen.
Okay, I can do it.
It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
I can try.
And it ain't me. All right, let's see what we can do here. So for those of you that are new to the podcast, welcome. We greatly appreciate you listening or watching. If you're watching on YouTube, that's amazing. If you're listening to the audio-only podcast, that's also amazing. Links in the show notes for the YouTube channel and vice versa. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to just listen, links for that in the description. And what we typically do is we take messages from you, answer them here on the podcast, help you grow your YouTube channel. So we're going to do that. First off, we're going to go to the wonderful people who listen to the podcast and send us text messages. If you're listening to the audio podcast, there is a link in the show notes that allow you to send a text message. And the first one comes all the way from the UK. Hey, Travis and Jen, my name is Keyzion. I actually like that name. It's really cool. It's Keyzion. I hope I said it right, Keyzion. And I listen to you guys during my work mornings whenever you upload. And it really helps keep me motivated to keep trying with my channel. Recent win here. I post gaming guides and talking head videos about gaming. Recently, I was playing a game and I encountered a bug in the game, and I resolved a workaround and posted a short just to help people who might have the same issue. This was maybe it'll help one or two people kind of upload. It now has 64,000 views and 431 comments, all thanking me for finding a workaround. Just goes to show you never know what will be good, as I didn't think much of this information when I uploaded it. Keep up the good work. Your podcast is my priority over music when I get the chance to listen to anything. That's amazing. Thank you so much. But yes, it's, the funniest thing, John, and you know this to be true. Some of the most mundane subjects on YouTube are some of the biggest. How to tie a tie. That's a big one.
Right.
How to, I don't know, boil water is probably pretty big, I'm sure. These things we don't think are a big deal. What are some of your more mundane videos you've seen that are big?
Mundane. Or
things you wouldn't think would be a huge deal and all of a sudden they are. But of course they are, because other people are in your situation.
I come across this a lot doing like construction in a new house and stuff. Just like if you're a new house owner, you know that there's a lot of things you got to fix. If you're the type of person that teaches yourself how to do these things, like patching a hole in drywall and stuff like that. I noticed that when I go to YouTube, if I end up on a channel where they try to do an intro and talk about themselves before getting to the problem, I'm like, okay, if somebody jumped in on this market right now, they would dominate this niche, because nobody wants to deal with that kind of crap anymore. So I guess I do come across it a lot, but people solving these like minuscule problems, just these everyday, as quick as I possibly can, here is the answer. A lot of people think that won't do so well because it's not a longer video, and you need to have like a long video to like make money and stuff on YouTube. But you're really building trust with an audience every time you do something really small like that. If you're the person that sorry, I'm jumping to a different topic here, but my wife and I were playing Donkey Kong Country Returns last night.
Oh, hey.
And I wanted to know where a certain puzzle piece was, and I went through two videos. One was 8 minutes long, ridiculous, right? But it was all about their personality, but it was like an instruction guide video, and then there was one that was 1:15, and it was Game Explainer. And the very first time I saw Game Explainer, I won't click on any other channel now, because it was just, here it is, here's the point, and they got my sub. And it's just like, dude, if you're the first person that does it quickly, efficiently, and you can build that trust, you'll build a huge community off of it.
Yeah, it's a good point. This also kind of falls into the ecosphere of what I call utility channels, which is to get an answer. And what you just described is peak utility channel. You need to get to the answer first, like right away. Like people that are not there for your personality, you can hook them in with your personality at some point. But you know, and utility channels tend to be search-based channels. So people that are searching specifically for something, how to unclog a toilet, how to make a chocolate cake, whatever the case may be, how to fix this bug in this game, whatever. They're looking for the answer, not really looking to subscribe to anybody. But if you do it in a creative way or in a way that's really really good or maybe very detailed, you might get a subscribe off of that. And I think it's important to understand when you're making content that is discoverable because it's a utility video versus something that you're trying to be more entertaining. Like a play along is one thing, but when you're trying to answer a specific question, give them the answer to the question. And then at the end, you can go, hey, if you like this, I have other videos just like this, and even some where I go into more detail about certain things. Make sure you hit subscribe. Because again, at the end of the day, you want people to watch more of your content, even more so than subscribe. You want them to watch more of your content, which is super important. What are some of the things you do typically, John, when you're trying to get people to watch more videos on your channel? What do you have a strategy behind that at all?
Yeah. So, I mean, we can go for the normal stuff. First of all, I try to incorporate an in-screen like CTA as organically as possible, by kind of letting somebody know, like you almost build a problem at the end that can be solved in this next video, and if they happen to relate to that problem, then they'll click on that next video, and then you build like sort of a watch session. So I know that that's like the most efficient way to get people to watch more of your content. And then once you do that, once they do that, your content will start popping up for them in the YouTube feed. I'm trying to think, when I want people to watch more, I've been doing shorts a lot lately, so I'm just trying to make the most engaging content possible, and the shorts algorithm just kind of serves it up to you at that point. So like I don't do much call to actions because I think that they're kind of worthless in shorts. So I haven't been doing a whole lot, but yeah, I always make sure that the call to actions are at the end of longer videos. I always push people to a next video. I very rarely say subscribe. I'm on that. I'm on the other side of the fence. Some people say you have to remind them because they'll forget, whereas I'm just like, I don't care. My video will still get served to the people that watch my videos, and the subscriber number isn't as important anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if you're talking about views. You can get a lot of views with very few subscribers. We've seen multiple examples of this all across YouTube. It's really about the content. And there's also lots of times when you see large subscriber channels with not very many views. So it goes both ways. This next message is also, I think all three of these are from like the UK. Hello, all of the vidIQ crew. It's just a quick query. Does Travis and it says Jen, but I'm going to put in John's here. Do Travis and John have YouTube channels of their own? If so, what kind of channels are they and what kind of videos do they create on there? Long-time listener, first-time writer. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, I mean, I've done content creation since 2018. I don't really do anything on my personal channel anymore. I'm kind of all in on vidIQ. So really nothing of interest there. But John does a lot of different things. John is multifaceted. He is the guy.
Yeah. For my personal channel, it's just called Hey John Scott, like all one word. And so I was searching for a very long time to figure out what I really wanted to do on there. About 2 years ago, I'd say, yeah, about 2 years ago, I did a couple shorts on Instagram that did really well. And it was just storytelling, and I mixed me telling the story with a little bit of animation. And so I recently went back to that, and I have this whole strategy that I went through. I discovered by accident, which I'll probably talk about in a future video. But I gained, I'm looking right now, 68,000 subscribers in the past 2 weeks because of these 5 shorts that got that. I mean, each short did over like 5 million views.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like I just recently finally settled into John is a storyteller on his channel. But before that, it was just this random mix of just a bunch of different stuff. Like Travis said, multifaceted. I was searching, I've been searching for a long time. And now it's like YouTube has just finally said, hey, go do that one thing you were doing, because that people like that. And so that's what I'm doing now.
That brings up an interesting thing that I shared with other people in our Slack here at vidIQ that I tripped across the other day, which is this video that got served up to me on my homepage of this very small creator. He's so small, like his channel's kind of broken. Like if you use the link, it's weird, like it breaks. If you copy the link to the page where his videos are, it goes to like a 404. I don't know if you saw this, but anyway, the guy's name's Ian on YouTube, and it says he has 78,000 subscribers now, but that is best from what I can tell, most of those came within the last like couple of weeks, because he's been on YouTube for like 15 years.
Right.
And he works at a 7-Eleven full time. And some people listening to probably like, oh yeah, I saw this guy. And for like 15 years was just uploading stuff, and nothing ever came of his channel really. And then all of a sudden, just a couple of weeks ago, he posted a video that was like super relatable, and it blew up. And he went from, I think just hundreds of views per video to like now like hundreds of thousands of views per video, because that one video got like over 1 million views. And I think it's so I guess actually technically went viral before this bigger one, which was I'm 30 years old making $20 working at retail 7-Eleven. That got 270,000 views. And then within a couple days later, he made one that says, why am I 30-year-old working at a dead-end retail job? And that one got 1.2 million views. And you can see the impact on his channel, how every video after that is like 100,000 views. You only dropped a couple, other ones that are 100,000 views, but it's not like he didn't post similar videos to this before this. Although he was kind of all over the place for a long time. If you look at like the rest of his channel, you might go, well, a lot of those videos have views. Well, so the way YouTube works is they don't necessarily, it doesn't mean that he always had those views. What probably happened, and I can use the tool to do this, is typically what happens is once you have like a big video take off, your back catalog gets, and this is exactly what happened. I'm looking using our tool. Your back catalog gets served to the people who just recently saw your new video. So for example, there's this video that says, why you'll never make it as a YouTube creator. This is like one of his videos from 3 months ago. You look at it and you go, well, it's got 2,000 views. That's not bad. Well, for the first 89 days, it only had 700 views. It's only within the last couple of days, because his other videos took off, that it got another 1,500 views in the last couple of days. And again, this guy's been doing this for 15 years. He's been doing YouTube for 15 years. And I just want to be clear, while it says he has 70,000 subscribers, I don't think, I'm trying to, again, his channel's kind of broken. So like our view stats isn't working. I don't know what Social Blade says. Let's see if I can find it. I think almost all of those have come in the last like 20 something days. And I think the reason for it is that he's like so relatable. At least that's what people are saying. Have you seen this guy, John?
I'm looking at him right now. Yeah, it's broken on my end too. It's very, very odd.
His channel's very weird. Maybe he changed the name or something. I'm not sure, but it's kind of broken.
It's his links link back to the. Oh man, I just want to talk to him and say, dude, you get here, change your description and your top link, because the subscribe button is right next to it. You don't need to. What are you doing? And I would just love to change his cover. I just want to help him. I want to change it for him.
And I think we might see if we can get him on the podcast, because his story would be very interesting. He has 1,200 videos. Again, the guy, if you go to his channel, his oldest one is from, I say 15, it's 12 years ago. And they were Minecraft videos for a very long time. I would love to get this guy. We're going to see if we can reach out to him and have him talk to us, because he's going through like a viral moment. Like he's uploading videos now, they're getting 100,000 views. Like, can you imagine? That's crazy. I'm talking about working at 7-Eleven, but the reason I think that it did so well is because it's so interesting and relatable to people. And I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I'm super happy for him and stuff. So we'll see if we can get him on the podcast.
Yeah, there's something to be said about niche importance here. Because even my channel, the biggest video I ever had was about That 70 Show. It was an iceberg video. And so like I kept posting stuff about creators and like I just a bunch of different things, like creator self-help and trying not to overthink and random stuff, and they didn't do so well. And then like something pops off and YouTube kind of finds your audience again. And or it finds a new audience that you're serving up content to. So I think sometimes I think the niche is so much more of a focus that doesn't need to be, because I'm seeing a lot more videos or a lot more channels that have different niches that
Mhm.
once something pops off, then they know and they can just keep pushing stuff like that, and they don't delete their old stuff, and I didn't either. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that people try to focus on making things perfect when it doesn't really need to be. Um, yeah.
So I'm looking on his channel, and he just posted a video 5 days ago about reaching 50,000 subscribers. So he's gotten 20,000 in the last 5 days, and my guess is he probably got the 50 probably. Again, I don't know what he had before all this took off. I can't. He's not coming up in Social Blade and stuff because I think his channel seems to be somewhat broken or whatever. But obviously, viral success. So congratulations to him. We'll see if we can get him on the podcast. Love to talk to him. Seems like a cool dude.
I got a little piece of value to offer. It's kind of a secret that I figured out.
All right.
This is something that I'm making a vidIQ video about, but I don't know. I just got to say it now because I'm too excited.
Go
about
for it.
First of all, it's cool that guy posted that, because 4 days ago I posted 30,000 subscribers in 10 days. This is crazy, and now it's at 70,000, roughly 70,000. It seems like it did the exact same thing for him that it did for me.
Yeah, exponential.
Okay, so what I wanted to say is, when I finally had something pop off on YouTube, I knew I had these other shorts that did really well on Instagram, and I had uploaded them to YouTube back then too, and they only did like 2,000, 3,000 views, something like that. And so when this one short, it was a new storytime short, when it was popping off and it was at about 1 million views, I was thinking, well, how is this any different from those? So what I did was I deleted them off YouTube, and I went back to my Premiere project files, and I re-exported them with new metadata, and I added subtitles over them. So it did change. I did change them a little bit, and then I re-uploaded them to YouTube, and they all went over 1 million views. It's like, once YouTube knew that this was like my audience, then everything that I posted after that, it's assuming it's similar content, and it shows it to them. So I do have some of my views in the backlog going a little bit higher, but nothing like, hey, here's another 1 million view, here's 2 million views, nothing like that. So if you do have very similar content, and it's proven that you know that this will do well, then you can do that again. But I would just make sure to re-export it with new metadata and delete it from your channel first. Don't do double uploads.
Yeah.
How you can prove it to yourself is the question, though. How do you know it's proven? Well, Instagram has a trial feature that you can upload your shorts or whatever. I'm talking shorts. If you want to upload it to Instagram, click on the trial and then see if the audience responds to it. And if they do, then you can go ahead and make it public for your followers or whatever. But if they respond to it, then you know it's good. And then you can delete it off your YouTube channel, re-export it with metadata, and put it up. That's the exact sequence of events that I did.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that, like, a lot of people want to go viral, but they don't necessarily know what happens when you do. And just for every person that takes the viral moment and is successful with it and blows up, there are a ton of people that went viral one time and then never again, because they didn't understand what happened and what to do next. And it's super important to understand, if your moment comes, doubling down is the first thing you need to do. But understanding what that even means is perhaps more important. And that's what we talk about here on the podcast. Like, what does that mean? It's like, and the answer is very simple. When someone watches that video, what's the next video they would like to see from you? About what subject? About what topic? What type of thumbnail they're going to click on? And those are the things that are going to help you make another successful video. So if you go viral and you're like, oh my God, and it's funny because I've had, when I was doing coaching, I had people go, oh my God, things are going viral. What do I do? What do I do? And we have a strategy. We actually have a strategy. I would go through everything and go, okay, we'll do this next. We'll do this next. We have to look long-term. My first thing, like I've said before many times, is what do we do when things start to slow down? Because they will. Like, how do we continue to make it interesting? So we need to start wedging and pivoting people towards whatever your other content is as soon as we can when you have so many eyes, but keep the momentum going at the same time. So what happens when you go viral? This. And this young man is doing a good job, because the thing he went viral for is the thing he's already kind of doing. Now, having said that, if you look at his content, he's all over the place generally. Only a couple months ago, he was doing this thing called stealth camping. I don't know what that is. But in the moment, he was already doing the 7-Eleven content, so he can just keep doing the content he's doing and do very well. And it's an unusual topic that not a lot of people are doing, but is interesting. So cool stuff.
It's very unique. I've never seen anything like it.
I haven't either. All right. So, final message from our audio podcast listeners. Win of the week. Jen asked for what your wins of the week were. Win of the week. Hi, Jen and Travis. Another great episode. Thank you. My win of the week is that today my channel, Never Too Old to Lift, reached 2,000 subscribers and just another 2,500 watch hours time to go. Congratulations. 2,000 subs is not an easy thing. The vast majority of channels on YouTube never make it past 500. You'd be very surprised. The low percentage of people that make it to 2,000 subscribers, very low.
It's so difficult. And it's, oh man, it feels bad because especially when you have experience and you know that your content's good, but YouTube just hasn't found the viewer type yet. It is so frustrating. And you just keep putting out stuff and it's like, wow, when is something going to happen? I felt that way for so long. I mean, Travis, my channel sat at 3,000 for the longest time.
In a long time.
I mean, for like 2 years, just because every now and then I put something up and I'm like, why is this not doing good?
Right.
Yeah. Doing well. Sorry.
And then now here you are after having worked at vidIQ for a while. And now things are blowing up, which is great. Fantastic.
Yeah. So seriously, congratulations. Cause that 2000 is a huge feat and it's just, consistency, staying at it. I mean, holy crap. It is so rewarding.
Yes. We're now going to go to emails. You can send us an email at theboost@vidIQ.com, theboost@vidIQ.com. This first one comes from Axel. He says, "Hi, Jen and Travis. Sent this as a reply to your most recent video on the fabled algorithm. In case I typed your email incorrectly, I have a question. First, I know the thing about seasoned channels is a myth, but if it isn't my channel is like 8 months old using the vidIQ tool, I made a video that had a score in the low 90s. Although not a ripoff, in my niche, long-term updates are a common video topic that people seem to watch. My videos, when seen by people in the hobby, are generally well received, aside from my rather mid-tier thumbnails and recording equipment. With that said, I struggle to get more than a dozen or so impressions after an extended period of time. If the vidIQ tool and monetization channels in my niche say that my stuff is fine, how can I tell if a change will please an audience or the algorithm with such low impressions and view count? I have difficulty understanding what I need to change and attract new viewers. Also, I legitimately do not understand all the hate candy corn kits when circus peanuts and good and plenty exists. If hell is real, then the only food available is good and plenty's and lutefisk. Lastly, with the response on the peanut butter stuff, I was actually moderately allergic to peanuts as a child, but absolutely loved Reese's and specifically white chocolate Reese's. That peanut butter is so heavily processed that not only can I eat it, I eventually ate enough of it that now my adult body tolerates peanuts with no issues. Yeah, see, by the way, I know, John, this might seem off topic, but we talk about stuff like this all the time. So we were talking about peanut butter last episode. So if you're kind of confused with what's going on there at the end, that's for that. But yeah, so what basically this question is, he says that the tool says, things are good. And some of the comments he gets say are good. Why is he not getting, and how does he know what changes might help him over a period of time? Now, the thing is, the tool can't tell if your video is good. What the tool's telling you is that the SEO portions that you're putting in and maybe even your title are good, but it doesn't know if the video is good. And that's ultimately what dictates how well your video does. Because even a bad thumbnail can't tank a great video. It can definitely make it difficult, especially at first. But we've seen great videos with terrible thumbnails every day of the week. Every day of the week. So that's not the thing. The thing is, it would be nice to know if you have creators in your particular niche that are doing well that you could reach out to and say, hey, I'm a big fan of you, or maybe you are a fan of them, and say, I'm a small content creator in your space. I would love to, have some tips. If you have any tips for me, you got to be kind of careful with this because you also don't want to come across as someone who's just like, I'm here to help. I mean, you do want to say, listen, I love your content and I'm really just trying to be a content creator like yourself. Do you have any tips that you can give me in this particular niche? Because I'm trying to grow. I really appreciate your time. Now, you might not get a lot of answers, but you might get some. You'd be surprised at if someone genuinely comes to you for advice as a larger content creator, as I was in my space for a while, how open they can be to helping others. I did when I first started out. I was collabing with channels with like millions of subscribers in my first year of being on YouTube. So I think it's just a matter of like your approach and how to do it. I don't know your niche or anything, but I would say if you're not getting as many impressions and you think everything else is good, there's probably actually something missing. And it's usually not something, it's usually something obvious to other people more so than yourself. What do you typically think about this sort of thing, John?
Did they happen to mention the niche?
No.
Okay. So if YouTube's not giving your content enough impressions, yeah, you're right. It's tough to know what moves make a difference and what will just keep it the same. So yeah, I kind of recommend for people to roll over to the vidIQ Discord, because people in there, like, you're already on the topic of YouTube. So if you genuinely just ask somebody, hey, like I give this advice for thumbnails. If you show a thumbnail and say, like, what do you think this video is about? And if they give the wrong answer, then you know that the thumbnail is not good, like idea wise. So I do the same with videos, where I show somebody the video and all you got to do is ask where they got lost, or like, when did it get boring? You know, can you tell me what I could do to improve this? And the people that are already in that Discord, they want to help each other. Everybody is there to learn. It's not like you're just asking your friend. You're asking people that, like, their brains are working the same way as yours. So that's the best way to do it.
I agree. And vidIQ has two Discords, one that's for the public, which is free, and then one which is, I think, really hyper-focused on creators who are really serious. That link is in the show notes and the description below. You do need to have a Boost membership with vidIQ or higher, but that's been on sale a million times over the last month and a half, so hopefully you have at least Boost. It's like the cost of coffee for like a day just to get a whole month. It's crazy, so you should be doing that if you really want to be serious. It's certainly something you should invest in. Next email at theboost@vidIQ.com. This one's from Simon. Hi, Jen and Travis, or John. We'll say John. Hi, John and Travis. You featured my question on your amazingly brilliant podcast on July 29th of 2024. Wow. That was almost a year ago, John. I don't remember anything that happened last week, let alone almost a year ago. See below for a copy of the original email I sent you. You both laughed at our email. Okay, we'll check that out. Anyway, we crossed 4,000 watch hours in early 2024 of December, and now gradually gaining a few pennies and pounds before we reach the British cash out of 60 pounds. Just wanted to thank you both for reading and answering our questions with your opinions. Just reading this out on the Boost, see what I did there, is that what we needed to keep going. That's so cool. We basically live streamed 5 days a week for about 12 weeks. Oh, by the way, this is a guinea pig live streaming channel.
Oh, okay.
So let me, I should have probably started with that. We basically live stream 5 days a week for about 12 weeks, between 2 to 6 hours at a time. A couple of points that we observe that I feel are worth sharing with others. You actually do build a community by live streaming. Many of the same names will appear each time you go live, and you can consider the live stream as a chat room. People did not want to see our guinea pigs running around. We set up an enclosure inside the house, but they were also, people did want to see our guinea pigs running around, so we set up an enclosure inside the house. But they also were happy to chat with each other. We defined some clear rules: no politics, no religion, no adult themes, and no under 16s. This kept things clear and simple. Our most popular live stream gathered 80 watch hours, and we did an 11-hour stream, but people tailed off as we went to bed. We also noticed that I didn't need to sit there the entire time. I could start things and just drop back in at points and do other jobs around the house. If I read all the comments, that is also really appreciated. It's about interaction and making people feel valued. We also additionally have people that will rewatch live streams that they miss. All the watch hours help whenever they get viewed, and the daily updates. They were excited to see how the total. We were excited to see how the total hours moved. As also, we generally go live in the afternoon, so America's morning. That's a top tip. Attached are a couple photos of the storm. We really like the shout out you guys gave her last time. Live streams do pull in new subscribers and are very worth running. Maybe sharing our experiences are worth both of you mentioning on the podcast. Also add to your knowledge, Travis. Add to your knowledge, Travis, on seeing live streams with chicken laying eggs and landing at airports. Yeah, that's a big. I've said that before. That's a big thing. They're very near 8,000 subscribers. Congratulations to you guys. Yeah, I mentioned that live streams can be really good. I'm actually looking into doing it more myself, but we do it here on vidIQ all the time. There's definitely it's funny because this morning, and John can back me up on this, when we talked about community, the first thing I said was the big channels community is live streaming. So 100% agree with this. You can absolutely gain subscribers. There are channels that are just live streaming. And for you, John, while you still do produced content on the main channel, you also have your own live stream where you talk about thumbnails and stuff. And that is something that didn't exist before you started doing it. So you've had to cultivate kind of a sub community within our community. And how has that been? And what have been some of the things you've learned along the way of live streaming on the vidIQ channel?
It was, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect at first, but I would say about 2 months in, I really started to realize that there was a separate community building just for that specific live stream. And there are like inside jokes for that specific live stream, and just like the jokes between me and the mods back and forth, me and Claudia, which is our AI mod. It's just like a lot of these things. I don't know. It's really special. It's one of the things I enjoy the most, and it is because the community, the music that I play. Like recently, I had a live stream where I played a song from my old band. It's just like this rock song, and it started out, and people were freaking, "You're gonna get copyright strikes! You're gonna get copyright strikes!" And I'm like, "Not unless I'm the one that does it." And it was just like I try to start it out with a fun intro every time, and it's just, I don't know, it's a great experience. I recently listened to a podcast that said this exact thing. It was the Nathan Barry Show, and it was that true community is built not around you, but around the community members interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And them saying that people are in their live streams talking to each other, that's true community. That's something special.
Yeah, I agree. And it's something that I used to do a long time ago, to have Saturday morning live streams before I would launch a video. And that was always cool. Had a lot of people come through, met a lot of really cool people. Really lots of fun and easy because you don't have to edit, which is fantastic. You don't necessarily need to do any real B-roll. You don't need to edit. You don't need to export. You just do it and you're done. It's the best thing. They also attached some pictures of their guinea pig. So cute. I had one guinea pig a long time ago. I used to have hamsters too, but I had one guinea pig ever. And this guinea pig is adorable. Absolutely adorable. So cute. I'll have to show Jen. She's away, but I'll send her a picture of that.
When I was a kid, I had a dwarf hamster, and I named it George. And George was cool and all, but my cousin was jealous of George, so my cousin had to get his own George. I can't remember its name. Anyway, my cousin brings not George over to meet George, and they hang out and they do what hamsters do.
Uh-oh.
And then later, like a couple weeks later, I tell my dad, I think George is gonna have babies. He's doing all these crazy things, like he's building like this giant packed nest, and he's like, "John, George is a boy." And sure enough, like the next day, there were little baby hamsters in that cage.
Oh my God, Georgina.
Yep. Georgina
was the actual. Oh, that's funny. All right, next email from the boost at vidIQ.com is from Joe. Joe says, "Hi again, Jen Travis. At your request, here's my win of the week. This week is the first time a video has broken 1,000 views. That's
nice.
Fantastic. It's so hard to do. I will be a mere mortal again next week, but for now, I'm enjoying watching it soar to over 35,000 impressions, 2.4% click-through rate, 28 hours watch time, and 14% retention. I've made 36 golf vlog videos and 6 shorts in about 7 months with 32 subscribers. Another small win is my Amazon affiliate sales earned me $14.68 in January for doing pretty much nothing except for setting it up. It's like free money that makes me giddy. I usually listen and enjoy your show while driving the car. Thank you for all your helpful discussions, Joe." That's fantastic. And I love that he points out affiliate sales. Now, I've made a lot of money in affiliate sales over the course of my YouTube career, and I will say you cannot sleep on it. And like he says, it's free money. It really is. He said he made $14 for doing nothing but setting it up, and that is such a big win. It's ridiculous. Like if someone said, "Listen, I just want you to go to this page, set your profile up," which most of you have done for social media programs, and you ain't get paid nothing for it. My dude walking away with $14 before taxes for just setting it up. I love that. And by the way, it's not $14 ever. That's just the beginning. That's just the first check they're going to have to cut them.
Yeah, this is momentum getting kickstarted. This is huge. I need to jump on this too, man. I'm sleeping.
What are you doing, John? You got to set up. Come on now.
I'm tired. I don't know.
I know that, bro. I feel that so hard. Okay, next email. Ads, video length, pacing, and of course, candy is the subject of this email from Mark. Newly monetized and curious about ads. Is there any consensus on video length with respect to ads and pacing of the video to have breaks at specific places? Does everyone just let YouTube stick it where the algorithm thinks it's best, jam in as many as possible, give up and just eat candy corn, Cadbury filled eggs? A little search, again, the inside jokes. A little searching shows a 30-minute TV show typically have 22 minutes of actual show with 8 minutes of ads. This is true, by the way. With the ad stuck in at 8 and 22 minutes. Is it better to leverage the decades of experience leading to that schedule, or since YouTube is growing at the expense of TV, throw it out the window? Or am I overthinking? Wanted to put my favorite candy here, but all I could think of was that weird candy I've seen, like candy cigarettes. Oh my God, yeah, I remember those. They were terrible. Complete with lit end and colored with red eye dye. Those weird little wax bottles of sugar juice and with a sucker with a scorpion in it. What's the weirdest candy you've encountered? Does that sound familiar, John?
It does. It does.
Does the sucker with a scorpion in it sound vaguely familiar, John?
I think I made a thumbnail for someone.
I believe you might have done that and or edited an entire video where that was the climax. That's a little inside joke between me and John. Yes, that would definitely be the weirdest one, as I have actually partaken in that, and John helped me in that way. I won't go into too much detail, but definitely something that will never be forgotten. Other than that, what's the weirdest candy you've had, John? Anything you've come across?
The weirdest candy?
Have you had any weird candy?
Probably, but it's definitely not top of mind.
Yeah, this is a candy podcast. It's under the guise of growing YouTube channel, so you got to get used to that.
Yeah, I can't remember candy I don't like, or no, I don't think I have.
Yeah, well,
I guess I need more candy adventures.
Go to Dollar Tree, and trust me when I tell you, you probably won't like candy after that. All right, anyway, his original comment was about ads and like placing them. So
right,
there's a lot of different thoughts about this. Depending on where you are in your YouTube journey, I'll be perfectly honest, even as deep as I was in my journey, over 100,000 subscribers, I did not place ads. I let YouTube do it, and there's a reason for it. And maybe I'm putting too much faith in YouTube, but I figure this is the part they're really going to concentrate on, so I suspect they're going to be good about it. The understanding that I have has always been that they strategically put ads where they would perform best and the frequency depending on the viewer, right? So it knows more about the viewer than you do. Although there are channels who will specifically put them in at different segments, just like this creator said, because TV had these breaks and everything. But most people walk away from the TV when that happens, right? This is more of a forced thing. I feel like if you are newer, just let YouTube do its thing. When you're starting to make money and you're doing longer videos and you want to get those ads in, it's fair to go ahead and place them, but place them strategically where it makes sense. Maybe right before a hook or right before a climax of the video or something like that, where it makes sense. You'll see that people do that with sponsored videos all the time. But you don't want to inundate people with them so that they get annoyed and stop watching your video, right? Because that's actually a bad thing. That's, again, also why I usually leave YouTube to do it, because they know more about the viewing history of viewers and how that video is performing to put them in the right places, even if I think I know the video better. But again, it can go either way. I know, again, John, you're more focusing on short form stuff, but when you're doing long form stuff, did you ever really consider this? Was this something that was on your radar?
Yeah. So when I place ads, I either do every 2 minutes, or every minute and a half to every 2 minutes, or 1 second after every chapter if it has a lot of chapters. And the reason I do this is because YouTube doesn't serve an ad for every single one of those. It just picks them randomly based on the viewer, and then it shows an ad. So if the viewer won't watch a full video, if an ad pops up 2 minutes in, then it probably won't show that first one. So yeah, after 1 second after each chapter, or every 2 minutes, like whichever one kind of comes next. But I definitely don't do it under a minute and a half. And so I'll end up with like maybe 16 ad breaks or something like that. and the viewer will get shown one, maybe two. And the more you put in there, the better an opportunity per viewer you have. So if there are a bunch of different types of viewers, YouTube might place those ad breaks for one or two types. But I feel the more you put in, the better chances you get. And so I can't remember where I got the data on this, but I saw people saying that once they started doing this, they ended up getting double the amount of revenue. So yeah,
I think
that's
also one thing
that's where I'm at.
I think one, well, because that's the whole point of putting in more ads, right? I think one thing you can get away with, I think this is probably universally true, is the longer someone stays on a video, 9 times out of 10, the more invested they are. So if you have a video that's like 40 minutes, you're going to be able to get away with putting more ads towards the end than you will the beginning, because a lot of people who get to see the beginning won't necessarily stay around to the end. But people that are watching for a long period of time are probably invested all the way and are probably
True.
going to watch the rest of the way. So you can likely get away with more at the end, but you won't get as many people to watch them because there's not as many people connected. So it's a balancing act that I think if you're early on your YouTube journey, it's not something you need to be concerned with. Later down the line, when you're like, okay, this could make me, you know, an extra $5,000 a month if I do this strategically. Okay, different story. I think for right now, getting your titles, your topic, your thumbnails, your hooks, all that stuff is much more important to use your time for.
True.
So with that being said, that was great. We can actually finish up here right about now. So before I do that though, John, when you're doing the live streams on, what is it, Wednesdays on the main channel, you mainly go over how to improve thumbnails. What are some of the, if you just want to give some homework for the people here listening to the podcast, what are 3 things you can think of that are mistakes a lot of people are making with their thumbnails that you have seen time and time again? You're like, listen, just do this thing differently than what you normally see.
Okay. The 3 things I tell people to focus on is conveying the idea, catch the eye, and create curiosity. It's real easy because it's the 3 C's. Now, the mistakes that I see most often get in the way of conveying the idea, and the way that they get in the way is because they over clutter their thumbnails. They put in too many elements. They try to add so many things into it that it's hard to understand at first glance. We do this thing called the 2-second test, where I show the viewers a thumbnail for 2 seconds. It's like I pick a random thumbnail from the viewers and I show it, and then I have them guess. It's got like a little timer, like it counts down 2 seconds, and then I have them guess what is this video about. And if like the viewer's thumbnail, they get to see what all these people think at first when they see this thumbnail, and if that idea isn't conveyed, then they just learned that they're not doing it well enough. And oftentimes it's the amount of clutter that's going on. Another mistake is putting your logo in your thumbnails. Everybody knows in my live streams that if there's a logo in the thumbnail, they know to get ready because a rant is about to happen. Because it's like, dude, why are you doing that? Like, it doesn't make, nobody cares about your logo unless it's like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. Like, just nobody cares, right? Like, you're taking up valuable real estate in your thumbnails that could just be negative space. Honestly, that catches eyes more than a logo that I don't recognize. Also, your logo is right under it in your profile picture, let alone it's probably the name of your channel. So no logos. Simplify as much as you can. I try to keep a thumbnail between like 1 or 2 things in it that really catch your eye. And then I guess creating curiosity. Really, what can you show in the thumbnail that makes somebody ask them or say to themselves like, oh, I have to click to figure that out? You really want to bring up a question. And a lot of people, they don't play on the psychology enough. So maybe that's not like a direct mistake that I can point out, but what I can say is when you open up YouTube today, notice what thumbnail catches your eye first, and then ask yourself why. Right? Just like really dissect it and figure out why this thumbnail caught my eye. I call it what made me click, basically. And so I'll just highlight that thumbnail and I'll put it in a folder, and then I'll keep that stuff in mind. You know, maybe oftentimes it's negative space that really catches my eye, because in a sea of cluttered thumbnails with one really simple thumbnail, it's going to catch my eye more than the others. So just really trying to break down what gets you to click, what catches your eye, that works on other people.
Boom. Love it. Knowledge bomb. And finally, we're going to read just a couple of comments from today's video. So we're recording this on the same day we released the last podcast. So we'll read 3 of them real quick. Snow Family Racing says, I'm besides myself that my comment from last week made it on the podcast, even if it was a comment about candy, which is good. This one from St. Mark. Hi, Travis and Jen. Love the episode again. On January 30th, 2025, I celebrated my first year on YouTube. Oh, congrats. Nice. I do long form content, had no problem getting views, but the views have dropped as of late. So I'm trying to work out what's wrong. Good luck in 2025. This is not just a you thing. Views across the board have dropped across multiple niches and for lots of creators. And also January always is a low month, but I'm talking for the last couple of months. Views have been down across the board. So don't feel bad about it. Just keep plugging away. And last one from Growing to Live. I totally enjoy your videos and learned a lot. Thank you for always pushing forward. Travis, the flat soda. No way I had to pause, but what a great way to always remember what you're learning. So that's in reference to Jen saying that she liked stale candy. And I'm like, and then I said, oh, wait, I actually like flat soda. So it was one of those things where we both were grossing each other out. You're missing out on the greatest podcast ever.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm just a special guest, man.
Yeah, just a special guest. Yeah, we're in here for that. All right, anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. Obviously, if you're listening to the video podcast or you're watching on here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like button, and make sure you watch the next video. As for the audio podcast, if you are on Apple, leave us an amazing review. 5 stars actually helps. So weirdly, a lot of people don't know this. In Apple Podcasts, which happens to be the #1 podcast platform out there, Spotify is a very close number 2. They actually do rank based on not comments, but ratings. So like 5 stars are the best. So that would be wonderful if you do that for us. We would love that. But you can always send us a message, theboost@vidIQ.com, and we can reach out or we can talk to you on the next podcast. And John, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and we'll definitely have you back again.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see y'all in the next one.